Shoot. Good evening, everyone. Just set that camera a little bit for you. Come here. Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm just trying to get the last load of slurry finished for this evening. It's 7 o'clock on a Friday evening. I had meant to try and get video in earlier in the day, but with one thing or another it didn't seem to happen. I didn't get going at the slurry until this afternoon. I was hoping to be going a bit earlier, but it just didn't seem to happen. Everything just seemed to be one thing after another slowing me down from getting to it, so it is what it is. Better turn off the field lights when we get onto the road. Yeah, I'm slurrying in one of the plots where we like to graze our cows and calves. Yeah, this was a bit that I was hoping to get slurried last week when we were slurrying before the snow came, but it just never happened. The snow come before we were able to get it finished, so it's the first chance really since that it's been dry enough for us to get at it, and even at that it's just about dry enough. Yeah, like I said before, we got quite light with the amount of snow we got compared to other places, so we're probably not suffering as much with how much the thawing out has wet the ground. So I suppose we can't complain too much. There's probably a lot of places that you couldn't get slurry in yet, but yeah, we were kind of spoilt with those conditions that we had just before the snow came, and how well the ground had dried out. But yeah, it's long overdue getting this slurry out. We'd usually at this stage have the slurry out about 3 weeks on our grazing ground. So we're running about 3 weeks late. Yeah, this ground is not that far away from the yard. Probably a round trip is about, I suppose, about maybe, it's a little over 15 minutes. So yeah, you get about almost 4 loads done an hour. Yeah, the delays earlier on, I had a little bit of feeding to do this morning first thing, which was fine. I knew I had to do that. And then I had to take down a load of silage to the calves, the 100 weanling calves on the out farm. So that had to be put in and ate up more time. And I also then, all the cows and calves, all that we have up, that were in the holding pens up the top, they were all tagged, and yeah, we tagged them and we moved them down and got them in creeping as well. So it has just left us now that we have 3 empty pens. 3 of the 4 pens are now empty. The only pen that has cow and calf in it is yeah, the bag pen on the inside the door. The calf that is in that pen is the one with the front joints that are still a little bit stiff. Yeah, but all the rest are now in creeping, which is great, because it kind of takes the pressure off with a lot of things. Takes the pressure off with the amount of feeding that we have to do on them, you know, graping silage into the ones in the back and whatnot. That's one of the things that takes the pressure off it. The other is the amount of straw that we're using, because the calves that's creeping at the back, they have to be bedded with straw every second day, which is fine. We kind of allow for that, but to have to creep the 4 pens at the front every second day as well is it's a big draw on our straw. So what we do is, and like even some of them, there's a couple of those pens had 2 cows and 2 calves in them, so they had to be bedded every day. So yeah, it's the way, if you can't keep them moving in, creeping all the time, you end up then with a lot of straw being used, and we'd end up running out of straw. So but yeah, no, it's grand to get them now down and in creeping. Just have to keep a tight eye on them. There's now 29 creeping there. There would have been 30 only for that calf that we lost earlier in the week. So still not really sure what happened, and we're kind of resigned to the fact now that he hurted himself, or he didn't hurt himself, he got hurt by another cow. That she maybe pinned him against the gate and gave him a bit of a doing. So that's the only thing that we've come up with, because the time frame from getting sick and, well, for the time frame from when we seen him last, okay, which was Sunday, late Sunday night, and him being very sick on the Monday, is not really sufficient enough for him to have, for a sickness or to have crept in. So it's either that the cow gave him a doing, or that he took some kind of a hemorrhage or a bleed or something inside, or there was something not just right with him from when he was born. So either way, look, it's one or the other. Yeah, we're not going to get all this finished today now with the rain coming. We have the first few fields. The way this is set out, there's 4 fields in this patch that we're in. And we split it 2 fields each for grazing. We've got another 2 fields then across the road, which leaves us with three separate paddocks for grazing. And you can graze a little over 20 cows and calves and a bull on that. Yeah, which is grand. So like, usually once it works out fine when the growing season's at the height of its growing. But then a little later on, then when the growing starts to slow down, then it can get a little tight for grass. And then at that point, we've got another 8 acres then that runs parallel to this ground. That it then comes into the grazing rotation as well. So yeah, it's not too bad. It works out okay. We usually cut hay or silage usually off the 8 acres that runs alongside this, and then a little bit later on, then it gets into the rotation, as I say. So Yeah, so with this rain coming in, there's supposed to be a good bit of rain coming overnight. So that's going to put a stop to us getting any more slurry done probably now until, well, I don't know what the forecast is into next week, so probably the middle of next week before we can get back to the slurry again. Excuse me. Yeah, this bit of land, we've had it rented now for, must be, it's not 20 years, it's probably been 17 years. And it used to be an old lady that she actually lived at the house out near the road, and she owned it initially, and it was then sold for colossal money about 4 years ago. And we were lucky enough to have a long-term lease on it, so we got to continue to stay on with the new tenant. He didn't buy it to farm it anyway, and it changed hands then again for colossal money. Made 22,000 an acre. So it wasn't a farmer obviously that bought it, but we've the third tenant also didn't buy it for farming, so we have a long-term lease on it now again, which is great. At least kind of gives you an idea of what you can do with it, as in if it needs sprayed or some money spent on it, you can go ahead and do that. Yeah, if it needs fenced, or you can get whatever you have to do on it, you can spend it, knowing that you're going to be there for a longer period of time. There's nothing worse than having land on a year-to-year basis, because you don't really know where you stand with it. Renting on a year-to-year basis, you could be out of it the following year, so you can't. Well, it's not that you can't. You still can spend money on it, but you're less likely to. Anyone that rents a bit of land or will know what I'm talking about.